How did the mini-gastric bypass come to be created? And a lot of people ask that, and then I have to first admit that it's not really a mini-gastric bypass. The surgery that we're doing, actually, its formal scientific medical name is an anticolic Billroth II loop gastrojejunostomy. On the other hand, mini-gastric bypass is a little bit easier to get on my business card. So the surgery's been around for a long time. It was initially invented by Theodore Billroth in the 1890s, actually before doctors wore masks or gloves when they did their surgery. He invented it to treat illness of the bottom part of the stomach, where you cut away the stomach for an ulcer or a stomach cancer or things like that. And in fact, my history is I used to do the old open kind of gastric bypass and the stomach stapling. And I was also a trauma surgeon at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. And in September of 1997, I was doing some of the early Roux-en-Y gastric bypasses laparoscopically in the United States. I had been to visit some of the other surgeons, and I wasn't crazy about the laparoscopic Roux-en-Y. But, bless you, I was on call one night, and one of the drug dealers in downtown Durham, North Carolina, had a disagreement over pricing with one of his customers. And he was shot in the belly 7 times, and I got him up to the operating room at about 9 o'clock on Wednesday evening. And I had to cut away the bottom of his stomach, the tail of his pancreas, the spleen, a bunch of other pieces of bowel. And I took the bottom of his stomach and hooked it to the side of his intestine. Now that should look a little familiar to you if you know anything about the mini-gastric bypass. So he had a gunshot wound, and in the middle of the night we just hooked him together using the standard Billroth II gastrojejunostomy. The next morning I had a patient who was also a friend of mine and a nurse, and I said, I don't know why I'm doing this Roux-en-Y. I think I should do a Billroth II like I did last night. And she said, yeah, that's a good point. I used to scrub, and I would help people with their Roux-en-Ys and their Billroth IIs, and yeah, I think that's a great idea. So in September of 1997, after a gunshot wound led me to do a standard Billroth II, I did a laparoscopic Billroth II gastrojejunostomy gastric bypass, and we are now 10 years later and 4,000 people later, and we're still doing the same kind of surgery. And that's how it started.